Hello class, my name is Jillian, and today I'm going to be discussing the cultural appropriation of yoga. Now, this is a really relevant topic, especially for me in my personal life, because it's something that I've seen a lot of as someone who really cares about physical and mental fitness, someone who really prioritizes health. I personally got into yoga, recommended to me by a physical therapist, and that was a really important thing for me to start to learn to take care of my mental and physical well-being. And after learning about the roots of yoga and then going out and attempting to practice yoga, in this in our modern world, I saw a lot of disconnect between the way that yoga is practiced by practitioners here in the West, as opposed to the history, the origin, and the way it's practiced in its Ayurvedic way, which is its traditional South Asian way of practicing. Now, imagine walking into a yoga studio yourself, filled with Sanskrit symbols, incense, westernized fitness trends. Have you ever wondered if yoga, as it's practiced in the West, truly respects its origins? Now, I'm going to discuss how yoga has been culturally appropriated, the impact of its commercialization, and the importance of respecting its origins. Now, as someone who really values cultural authenticity and respects traditions, I have researched multiple sources to provide an informed perspective on this issue. We're going to explore the historical roots of yoga, how it's been altered, and what can be done to practice it with cultural sensitivity. All right. The origins. Now, here I have an image of some original Sanskrit text to kind of guide you as I discuss its history. Now, according to George Feuerstein, 2008, a historian of yoga, yoga dates back over 5,000 years and was developed as a spiritual practice deeply rooted in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Now, traditional yoga encompasses much more than just physical postures. It includes meditation, ethical guidelines, and a connection to one's higher self. It's really my perspective on it as someone who has been really trying to get to the root of what yoga is and practice it in a way that is ethical and culturally aware and significant, is that yoga is very much a way of being and a way of living. And to reduce it to just its physical fitness is to do a disservice to the true meaning and impact of yoga, really. Commercialization. Now, Andrea Jain, 2015, a religious studies scholar, explains that yoga has been stripped of its spiritual meaning in the West, often reduced to a fitness routine, with little acknowledgement of its cultural roots. Many yoga studios will use Sanskrit names without understanding their meaning or sell products that commodify yoga's sacred elements. This commercialization erases the philosophical depth of yoga and misrepresents its true purpose. Now, this is extremely frustrating, especially considering that to make money off of yoga can sometimes, we all have to make money, we all have to live, and it's understandable to do so, but to make money off of its kind of fundamental Sanskrit ideologies, a lot of times goes, is a direct contradiction with the true intention of yoga, because it's not about materialism, it's not about money, it's not about buying the next product. And these are examples of some classes that are just completely all about the physical fitness sense and not about the nature, the meditation, all of those things that are really important to yoga. Now, how to engage respectfully. Now, Susanna Barkataki of 2020, an advocate for decolonizing yoga, suggests that practitioners honor yoga by learning about its history and using it as a holistic practice rather than a mere workout. Now, some solutions here are to learn from authentic sources and teachers who respect yoga's cultural origins. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a South Asian practitioner. in my opinion. But, you know, be respectful and teach with the yoga's true intentions in mind. Acknowledge its history and avoid using sacred symbols as mere aesthetics. Support South Asian teachers and communities who preserve the traditional practice. Now, yoga's transformation in the West has led to cultural appropriation, but through education and respect, we can honor its roots. Next time you step onto a yoga mat, consider learning its deeper meanings and supporting authentic teachers who uphold its traditions. True mindfulness includes being aware of cultures that shape our practices, and that is fundamentally what yoga is about. So to be mindful without acknowledging the true practice of yoga is not to practice yoga. You know, without acknowledging the origin of yoga is not to practice good yoga. You know, so keep that in mind next time you go to a yoga class. Keep that in mind next time you do some stretches yourself. Thank you guys.